Hello and welcome to today's video. This time we're looking through my final batch of vintage Pan Giant paperbacks. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay then, starting off with X556, which is A Sudden Silence. And let's have a look when this one was published. 1966 by Pan. Now these are the very tail end ones before sort of ISBNs kicked in. And on the whole, the books are a little bit thinner than some of the other ones that we've seen. But also you get some decent authors included as well. So it'll be quite a bit of a mixture. We've got quite a few books to actually get through, actual physical numbers of copies, that is, because the books are thinner. And I generally bring these out a box at a time. We've been able to squeeze quite a few in here, so we won't hang around because we've got plenty to get through. But I think they will be in varying sort of conditions, really. Hopefully nothing too rotten, since these are not as old as some of the very earliest Pans, which are 20 years prior to these almost. It's one of those Hitchcock, look at his eyes. One of those Hitchcock anthology stories my mother never told me. So I'll be on the lookout for anything that's a bit too low grade that I might want to put on my upgrade list, but I don't really want to put too much on it because, well, it just gets unwieldy. You have to sort of draw the line. And now this one's got a bottom of the spine that's going to need repairing. Bit of a worn old copy, that one, in all honesty. It really is, look at that. But I'll pop a little bit of glue in the bottom. Of the spine there, just where it's starting to come away. It's not the greatest of copies, this, so this is going to be the first one to go on the wants list. X584, Arthur Upfield, Cake in the Hat Box. Yeah, very, very worn, that one. Right, so that's the initial bit. This is 2-ply, you see, so I've also got to get some in there. The other side's not too bad, so I've got to get a slither in that bit as well to get it completely stuck down. There we are. So we did the bottom bit, and then that's the second bit. So it should be as stuck down as we can possibly make it now. But yeah, it's still not great. It's very, very worn. Obviously been read a few times, that one, so very much there on borrowed time, that. So that does warrant actually going on the upgrade list. Whereas this one, although not perfect, it'll be absolutely fine, I'm hoping. Yeah, that's all right. Second printing resets. It's the first time this would have had this particular number, which is X586. So when it says reset like that, that actually means the first. Now, this is one of those ones which I refer to as a shorty. It's been very, very tightly trimmed, and you do find that with some books for whatever reason. It's almost like perhaps they were looking to go to the American market, possibly, I don't know. But if you compare it to a normal book, see, a little bit thinner and shorter. Ah, yes, a great one, this, and I have a feeling mine might be signed, as I recall. Did I have a signed one of this? Yeah, look at that. For Bertha and Kath. Happy Days, John Doxat. Okay. Just an absolutely great classic Pan book, that. I just love it. It's so funny, that one. Booth's Hamburger Cocktails. Steel Battalion. And it is quite a nice little period of Pan, this, actually. This sort of mid to late 60s. I just love that period of books. Same with music, actually. It's one of my favourite musical periods. 1967 in particular. There's so many albums that came out in 1967 that I still really, really enjoy today. Some by my favourite groups. You got, Sgt. Pepper, by the Beach Boys and by the Beatles, and Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys. You got The Doors by the Doors, Are You Experienced by Jimi Hendrix, 13th Floor Elevators, Incense and Peppermints, Surrealistic Pillow, Jefferson Airplane. They all came out in 1967. It's just a great, great year for music. These are good. These are the first two Dick Francis paperbacks, and I'm trying to think who he went to after Pan, or if he did always stay with Pan. I can't remember, you know. I do actually collect him in hardback. So X601 here. Haven't picked up a Francis in a while, I have to say. This is another version where it was first published as a Pan in 54. Then the second printing, which is this one, is the reset edition. But that would also be the first one with that 601 number. So Let Sleeping Girls Lie, James Mayer, 602. Yeah, so far we've only had one really bad one. There we are. This one, by the look of it, trying to get in on the James Bond market. That was, of course, all the rage around this time, you know. Let's put that pile over there. Tree Frog, Martin Woodhouse. Yes, we've got about 4 piles in total to get through. And it's a shame that the beautiful classic painted artwork by this point is pretty much long gone, isn't it? It's all photographs and sort of photo montages. It's almost like a lost art, isn't it? And nowadays, well, terrible nowadays. The books are all just typographical, aren't they? They've just got loads of words knocked up on a computer. The art of the cover is just lost, in my opinion, you know, which is such a shame. Evidently this was the way to go at the time for Pan. It was probably a lot cheaper to knock up books with just a photograph on the front rather than commissioning an artist to paint something, you know. And book jackets were changing, although there's a painted one. Book jackets were very much changing very, very fast as well. Now, is this it almost looks like a movie tie-in, but it's not. I was going to say, because they could have got away with using the movie poster artwork. That one's got a little 20 in, I guess 20p. House of Soldiers, Andrew Garner. It's got a sticker on the back there. Rest of the book is okay. Let's just see if it's going to be an easy one to come off. Looks like we might be in luck. So I'm just sliding my thumb along the back cover, and then when I get to the sticker I just sort of dig in a little bit further. Almost there, but at least he's coming off all right, which is the main thing. nice there. God, blimey, come on. There we are. The thing is with a sticker, you just cannot rush it. Now that one's a little bit tacky, so what I'm going to do is put some polish, dab that on the area, and within a little bit of time, the little bit of stickiness that was there has pretty much been absorbed. There we are, that's fine. It's not sticky at all now, and we can give that a normal polish in a little while. So there we are, that got rid of that one. Now we'll shoot. The jokers. Lovely. Yeah, I've got to say, so far we're not doing too badly condition wise. This one's a tiny bit rougher than some that we've seen, but still I don't think bad enough that I must put it on like my upgrade list at all. The thing is with pans, there's so many that I actually need to begin with that I don't really want to flood my upgrade list unless they're really, really rough, in all honesty. But that's okay, it does need a good polish, that one. This was a movie time, wasn't it? A privilege, very much of its day. Pompeians. That's pretty rough. Yeah, not great, that one. Yeah, we'll pop that on the upgrade list. X638, the Pompeians, Ronald Bassett. It's okay as a filler, but it's not one I'd really want to keep long term. The Man Who Refused to Die. That's Lost at Sea. Looks like there's some, I'm thinking it's pencil there. Even this is not great, but it might be one of those ones that is a little tougher to find than usual. So is this pencil? Or is it pen? No, it's pencil. Not a particularly soft pencil, unfortunately, but I think we're going to be all right rubbing the little calculation out by the looks of it. There we are. Right, so the Pompeians can go there, and then that, as good as we're going to get it, is up there for now. Affair at Quayla. Don't remember much about this one. Still in 1967. Lydia. Looks like this has had some penciling historically, but the area is quite rubbed already. So if I'm not careful, I might end up ripping it. So I'm being quite gentle. I'm just going with the flow a little bit. see there's been loads of like pencil marks and stuff in that historically. Going to really benefit from a good polish, that one. In fact, quite a few of these will. Here's one of their science fiction titles. And here's another one, Joseph Green. The bottom of the spine was turned over. But yeah, these are really, really going to benefit from the cleanup process. Going to put some glue in that one, just at the bottom of the spine again. I do like pan science fiction on the whole. It's just, I don't know, they never really embraced it, or perhaps they didn't have quite the very best authors that were out there. You know, they've got a few, in fact we'll see them today. There's like a couple of Robert Heinlein's, and it's like an odd Asimov, which I haven't actually got. But apart from the classic ones, you know, they had like, you know, The Time Machine, for example, by H.G. Wells, and a few other like classics. The C.S. Lewis books, they didn't really have. No, they didn't have any Philip K. Dick, for example, or, you know, they didn't embrace any of the new authors that were coming through at this time. And I think that's probably an error, a bit of foresight from the editors, possibly back in the day, you know. But who can tell? Who can tell? They were more into their horror, weren't they? Because the Pan Book of Horror Stories was an absolute runaway success. And I guess other publishers were doing the science fiction. That's a really nice one, that Kid with a Cold. That's a really, really nice, bright copy. I mean, they would have all been like that initially, but that's faultless, isn't it? They would have all been like that back in the day, you know. But sadly, they've not all survived like that. Quite a bit of tanning on that particular one. Inspector West, Holiday 4. Funny Ho Ho and Funny Fantastic. Yes, this is the very tail end. This is the last batch of Giants. After this, we'll be moving on to cleaning the Pan Majors. So we're back to big, thick books again initially. And some of those are going to be quite tough challenges in regards to cleaning them up. But we'll do our best, of course. I said we're into quite a good routine now. So we do Vintage Penguin, Vintage Pan, hardbacks, another odd, you know, a miscellaneous series or two. Maybe I'm going to start doing some regular bagging videos on the channel, where we go back over an old series and bag them up, which would be quite cool, I think. And we'll try and do it by an entire like publisher or a line or something like that. And we've got quite a few more Pelican cleaning videos to come. I mean, probably another 8 at least, I would think, at least. So got some good stuff on the way, definitely. There we are. There's one of those ones which I was referring to there, Robert Heinlein. Nice copy of that one as well. Been getting a bit into Asimov lately. I enjoyed the Foundation series. I've only watched series 1 of that on Apple TV, but it's a good one for sure. This one's got an 85 cents, so it's evidently exported this, possibly to, I don't know where. Not likely to be the States, but somewhere with sense. I like Canada. There we are, Vancouver, Canada. Now it's got a bit of pen here. It's got a big M in for starters, so we're going to get that M out. Yeah, this one's come from all the way from Canada. There we are. Main Used Book Exchange. Pay top prices for your books records. 78 Main Street, Vancouver. There you go. I wonder if it's still there. Anyone in Vancouver can verify that? I guess it's probably unlikely. And here's an Edgar Wallace, The Brigand. Oh, look at that. Oh, dear. Oh, no. Yes, it's the second printing of The Brigand. I'll put it on the upgrade list. So, Edgar Wallace, The Brigand, X688, second printing, upgrade. Right, Pride and Prejudice. This is Bestsellers of Literature series. Cover artist was John Raines on these. And did get to meet him many years ago. Went down to his house in Falmouth, I think it was, with Tim from Ticket.net. It was very nice. Not sure if this is a John Raines cover or not. Some of them are. I didn't, the majority of them, that's for certain. You can feel something on the back here. There we are. See, whatever that was, a bit of dirt. It had been sort of impregnated onto the back. There's a few more bits here. And if you just run your thumb over it, whatever they were, it's just sliding off. So we've got as clean a surface as possible when we get to doing the polishing bit. It's weird, very weird. It's like a little splattering of something. The front's not so bad. There we are. Lovely. Hilary Wall. A bit of a faded spine on this one. But apart from that, he's alright. Ashes of Loda. Andrew Garth again. Cool. That's stack done. I got another pile here. The Assassins. Once again, classic sort of photograph cover, isn't it? Nice copy of this one. Lovely. And Junior Crossword Puzzle Book. Pile, the last wedge to come over here. Now this was a bit of a hit for Pan, I think. It was Till Death Us Do Part. It was Alf Garnett. It was a TV show on the BBC. And it was a big hit in its day. And it got revived later on. Same actor. And was very popular. He was quite racist as far as I can remember. And you don't see them repeated at all anymore because they're so politically incorrect. He was a very outspoken character. But... yeah, there they are. Yeah, so as far as I know, that was quite a big seller for Pan, that one, because it always used to turn up in the heat of the night. Sidney Poitier and Rod Steiger. This is another movie time. I tell you what, Pan did so many movie tie-ins. I think it would make a great video to pull them all together because, well, there's just so many of them, you know. Little 99p in there. Which we will gracefully get. Here's a couple of Robert Heinleins. So we got the Red Planet. And Pan did science fiction so well, didn't they? They really did. That it's a shame they just didn't do more, I think, because they really sort of got it. There's another one, Farmer's Cow. What a great cover these are, aren't they? Who did that cover? There's no actual name on it, but yeah, Pan always did science fiction and horror really, really well. I just don't think they had the rights to the authors who were, you know, popular at the time. Really, I think that's probably what it was. The authors that they had historically were all a bit old-fashioned, and that may have cost them. They weren't really trying. Pan weren't known for trying new authors, were they? They tried established in a lot of cases, because we must remember that predominantly they were a reprint publisher. They weren't finding and breaking new authors, wasn't really their thing. They were just like Penguin, you know, reprints predominantly. There we are, and this is another tie-in, isn't it? Poor Cow, Terence Stamp and Carol White. Okay. The Gun, that's C.S. Forrester. One of his non-Hornblower ones. These tail end ones, yeah, that's actually the reprint of that. But I think it's probably the first one with that number. And these are a nice pair. You've got the two Jungle Book, the Jungle Book and the second Jungle Book. And these are the Disney film tie, which I absolutely loved as a kid. Absolutely loved this, the Jungle Book movies. It's probably, of the classic Disney films for me, of the 1960s and 70s, this was the one I remember enjoying the most, was the Jungle Book, you know. And I remember when my kids were growing up, we went through the majority of them, as you do, you know, Dumbo and Pinocchio and ones like that, and it was always the Jungle Book that I enjoyed. Couldn't say what my son's favourite one was. There's so many things, it was like watch them once and that was it. Not like when we were growing up, where we would end up watching the same films again and again. Anyway, Hercule Poirot's Christmas. First Agatha Christie. First time it was in a Pan form, but in the most awkward place imaginable. Right at the top of the cover there. It's got a George, it says. I don't know who George was, but he really annoyed me by putting his name there. How dare he? There we are. There we are. And a Perry Mason, look at that. The Case of the Singing Skirt. Dear, oh dear. The Only Girl in the Game, John MacDonald. Now he's quite collectible, isn't he, John MacDonald? And have I read any by him? I'm trying to think, you know. Don't know if I have. Borderline, but he's okay. This one's a little bit the worse for wear compared to the other ones. Look at that spine. Faded and a bit on the rough side. It's borderline, but I'm going to let it go for now. If I ever have a little purge, that one may end up going back onto the upgrade list. But for now, I'll leave it. This is one of those ones that's going to benefit from a good polish. It's quite grubby, but I think it's going to be one that's going to clean up all right. Edgar Wallace again. Who I don't mind now. I always thought he was a bit old-fashioned. In actual fact, he was ahead of his time, really, in many ways. The Secret Journey. Ah, yeah, Ronald Kirkbride. That one's got the top corner cut, but I'm going to let that go. That's not too bad a fault. Johnny Lost, X735. It's obviously a a tail-end Western. They were, of course, still fans of the Western, even in the 60s and 70s. And when I was a kid in the 70s and late 70s, early 80s, I remember they would show stuff like Champion the Wonder Horse, which is in the Western sort of universe, wasn't it? That used to be on quite a bit, and there was loads of those. Why didn't they ask Evans? Classic Christie. There we are. Tales of Miss. That's a nice cover, and that's a real great one with the spiders coming out of the skull there. Blimey. That is a good use of a photograph cover. So good, they reused it on the back. Now this one, on the face of it, is a nice copy. However, it's got some invisible sellotape on the bottom of the spine. I see it's actually got a price of $3.50, and so I don't know where that's come from, because I would never have paid that for this late number, to be honest, you know, but who can tell? I bought so many job lots of Pam books over the years that, you know, and you know, like almost sometimes complete collections that, you know, it was the original people who bought them. Now this is another one. Sort of feels like got a few little dots on the cover that may well come off when we get to the polishing stage, you know. The 11th is the reset edition from 1968. Once again, it's got some penciling. And unfortunately a name, but the name's in ink, so we're not going to be able to do anything with that. Sadly. There we are, the Avenging Saint. Okay. John Burke, another movie tie-in again, Smashing Time. Rita Tushingham and Lynn Redgrave and Michael York. Not one that I've ever seen. There we go. And the last one in this Pan Giant series was this, the Stansted Affair, which is about Stansted Airport, as far as I know. There we are. This was a Pan original, this one. Right, lovely. So that's all the repair work done. So next step of the process is to give them all a good brush along the top edges. So let me reposition the camera. Okay then, so on to the brushing. So we're going to go through and brush the whole lot, and then we'll do some targeted polishing to finish these off. Just get a little pinch at a time. 4 or 5 books. This is the messy bit of the job. Very important, of course. The actual brushing part doesn't take too long, in actual fact. Of course, some of these books have been on the sides. They haven't been in an environment. They've been like stacked like that rather than stood up. So they haven't all collected dust and dirt per se. However, at least not while they've been in my possession. However, historically, they may well have. So that's why we have to do them all regardless. There we are. Let's get this next wedge out. But yeah, these ones from the 60s are nowhere near as bad as some of the stuff we've had to brush during these videos, that's for certain. There's nowhere near the same amount of dust coming off them, which is a good thing. And I promise this week I shall create some new playlists. So if you want to just go through and do all the Pan videos in order and all the Penguin videos and then like the miscellaneous stuff, I shall break that down into some new playlists so you can just go through and watch the whole series then, if you want to. Because I know some people prefer some series than others, so I think it might help out. Help people find, because you know there's a fair few videos on the channel now, so it will just make navigating it a little bit easier, I think, you know. It's a dusty old job. But someone's got to do it. There we are. Right. So we'll let the dust settle and then we'll get the old polishing out. Right. Okay. We shall get into the clean. Some are going to need more than others. That's absolutely normal. But these are of a period where the covers are nice and glossy on the whole. So we are able to give them a decent clean. And it will certainly raise up fingerprints. That's for certain. That one there, Our Salt is Leaving. Pan did actually publish that in hardback as well, simultaneously, because it was a brand new J.B. Priestley book. Interesting. I know we were only saying earlier how they were predominantly a reprint publisher. We are getting quite near the end of this Mr. Sheen, but I've got another bottle on standby because we don't want any sort of Mr. Sheen emergency, do we? I put on my upgrade list this time around, so not going to be a great deal we can do about it. But when I come to move it on, at least it'll look as good as possible. So we've very much, the wife and I have been talking about moving house, and what I will need to do when that comes around is to put a lot of my book collection into storage so we can get a few repairs done before we put the place on the market. Nothing major, but you know, I'd rather the books weren't around. So I'm not going to need a massive storage container, but I am going to need somewhere to stick them. And also somewhere where I can get access to them as well if I need to, every now and again, you know. So the more I get done and cleaned before that happens, the better, really, you know. I think. But I am, having had some books bagged up lately that I received from America. They were very, very nicely bagged, and I thought, cool, these do actually look really nice. And when you put something in a bag, it hides a multitude of sins, in actual fact, you know. I just don't think they look quite as nice on the shelf, but they are definitely protecting the actual books, and I think that's what's important, particularly on my fragile penguin paperbacks rather, and the early pans for that matter, would all benefit from being bagged up. So I will do them. I shall do those videos, and it'll all be part of the process of getting the collection put into permanent storage then, until we move house and I can get it all out again and put it into a lovely purpose-built library, which is the aim over the next few years, you know. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. Yeah, I do like Dick Francis. He was a great author. I think one of his ones are in Pan, one of his other early ones. Sorry, Penguin rather. And then he moved over to Pan later on. I'm not 100% sure. So far these have cleaned up quite nicely actually. Haven't had any really tough ones yet. Yeah, this was sort of dirty, but it's got sort of a staining in it, which, I mean, it's got wet at some point. Something's been maybe spilt on the back of it. A cup of coffee or something. Last one for this part. This was a little bit dusty, so this is, as I expected, coming up absolutely beautiful. Very nice and unusually good copy for a book with an all black sort of spine like that. It's not complaining about that at all. It's yeah, quite unusual. There we are. So that's got them looking as nice as we possibly can. The first part. Now we've got three more stacks to polish yet. Let's move them over there. Nice to see those looking good. I think we're okay on the polish front so far. Still a little bit in there. There we are. Yeah, quite a very, very small, but there are some key bits of dirt coming off this one as well. But yeah, some need a little bit more attention than others. Simple as that. So this one, for example, is not too bad at all. Bitter body. Another one with a black, dark black cover, which always benefits from a polish. These things can eat the polish up. Hair or something inside there. That's a bit of a beaten up one, that, but not to worry. I remember having this one for years. This privilege. I bought it off a local book dealer. He had 3 or 4 copies of it, and I thought that's weird, you know. And this was still the best copy that he had, and even this isn't perfect inside. But yeah, a bit of a weird movie tie-in, that one. Not one I've ever seen. This was that tatty one, which once again I've put on the old upgrade list for now. This is another tatty one. The man who refused to die, and he was lost at sea, and it looks like someone's taken in the bath with him. How very dare they, I say to them. exactly. Certainly getting through the old polish today. But that's okay. Dr. Divine, can you believe it? Another one here, the adorable Doctor. These come under sort of the nurse romance genre, you know, which is very, very popular still, you know, amazingly. There we are. Then this Western, which is in very nice nick. This will be the last one, and we're at the halfway point. Right then, so we are now halfway through, which is good. But these do take a little bit longer than some of my other videos, simply because the books, you know, I want to run the polish over them all, really. Because sometimes there's fingerprints and like stickiness and things like that on the covers that you just don't pick up in the normal run of things. So I don't mind a little extra. An extra polish. Quite a nice copy. And this one was not so nice. It's just the way it goes. Lovely Robert Heinlein. Lovely. What a mess. But ultimately the books are being cleaned, and that's what it's all about. Okay, looking good. Right, one more for this pile. more stack to go. Right, last little wedge, and we'll be done for today. Now, looking ahead, I believe next week it's going to be some more modern hardbacks. We're into the, I think we have to do the Julian Stockwin collection in hardback, and the tail end ones of the alphabet in hardback fiction, a little bit of non-fiction. Then we'll be on to the autobiographies and biographies. And then I think we've pretty much done all the hardback stuff, which is great. Certainly that room is looking so much better now. But I think we've just about done it all then, which will be great. A little achievement, that. Certainly in the UK, as I film this, we're experiencing a very cold snap, as they say, a cold spell. And I guess by doing these physical videos rather than just talking about stuff, I have avoided the majority of just being in a cold studio. But I'm thinking ahead. I've got one at the weekend to do with my friend Andy, and Andy has got this incredible trading card, bubblegum card collection, and those videos tend to be a couple of hours in here of us going through Andy's card albums, and there's not a lot of physicalness going on except turning the pages. But the only thing is, it's a much smaller building. The studio is really you can get you can get 3 people in here even if you wanted to, but it's it doesn't take too long to warm up, shall we say, thankfully. But I have thought that in the middle of winter, which is what it is now, about getting maybe a little oil heater or something in here, something that doesn't make a lot of noise while I'm filming, but will keep the place nice and toasty, you know. But sadly, that's not the case at the moment, so I'm having to physically put a bit of elbow grease in to stay warm, but also clean the books at the same time. So it's a double-edged sword. Yeah, if you've got the chance, do please share these videos out, give them a like, and helps the old algorithm to pump it out to more people. YouTube is a funny old beast, and it is very much a roller coaster. I've always sort of said that, and it's very hard to sort of pin your livelihood on YouTube. I wouldn't recommend it for anyone, and not unless you're very, very lucky. If you do it for fun though, you've got nothing to lose, and that is very much what I do. But if you want to support the channel, help us out a bit, particularly in these tough months of January to April when YouTube revenue very much drops very dramatically, do please check out my Patreon, patreon.com Julesbert. Over on the other channel, you can join that way and get YouTube channel memberships, which is another way to support the channel. Both options from as little as £1 or $1, so you know, it really does make quite a difference to keeping the channel healthy. But if not, you can continue to watch these completely free of charge, but I do request you hit the subscribe button. if you like what you see, of course, and never want to miss a video. It's like quite a dirty backlight, isn't it? Anyway, as we round out today, as I said, I'll be back next week. I think it's hardbacks we have to do next week to keep the current pattern going, which will be absolutely fine. Something a little bit different to do. And we don't mind variety, it's the spice of life, as they say. Last little few, I think. There we are. But yeah, if you've enjoyed today's video, do please give it that thumbs up right now. And if you've not already, do please hit the subscribe button. Now, these have come out really nice, actually. I'm very pleased with today's work. I think we've done a good as job as we possibly could. And yeah, these will look very nice when they're back on the shelves, or at least as good as we've possibly been able to get them, which isn't bad at all, I don't think. Yeah, thank you very much for watching today. And I will look forward to seeing you again next time with another video. There we go. Brilliant. Bye.